Hey, it's Kardea Brown and welcome to my kitchen. I'm so glad you're joining our cook along. Today we are making Cajun butter spatchcock turkey. I'm telling you, cutting that backbone out of the turkey is going to cut your cooking time in half. We're cooking together, but at any time I get ahead of you, don't worry about it, hit pause and catch up to me when you're ready. Before we get started, bring 2 sticks of salted butter to room temp and also preheat your oven to 425 degrees. All right, let's get cooking. Spatchcocking this turkey, we're gonna use a knife. Okay, so spatchcocking just means taking out the backbone of your turkey. What I like to do is use a chef's knife to go down the back part of the turkey. Now, if your knife isn't sharp enough, don't worry about it. You may have some kitchen scissors or shears. You can use that. Just going down the backbone with my knife. Okay, we're just cutting down the backbone. It should go down easily if your knife is sharp. So it's important to have a sharp knife. And we're going to cut all the way down to the tail. If you want, you can pry it a little bit. There we go. All right, we have removed our backbone. Now, I saved this backbone. I put it in a zip top bag, pop it in the freezer, use it for stock a little later, some soup or whatever. So save it if you'd like. Now, take your bird, flip it back over. Be careful with all of the juices. And take your hand, press it down the center of the breastbone and break the breastbone. There you go. So now, your bird should lay flat on your surface. All right, there we go. You've spatchcocked a turkey. Take your turkey, put it on a sheet pan with a wire rack. Okay, and let's clean off your work surface. All right, let's make our Cajun butter. 2 tablespoons of smoked paprika. 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 2 tablespoons of onion powder, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of thyme, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of pepper, 1 teaspoon of salt. Mix it up. When that looks good mixed, take your 2 sticks of salted butter, put it in a bowl. It should be softened, so you should be able to manipulate it like this. Take your seasoning, put it in your softened salted butter, and mix it up. This Cajun butter is going to be spicy, of course, as it is Cajun. A little smoky from that smoked paprika, but overall, it's not going to be too spicy. There's just a little bit of cayenne and a little chili powder. But overall, it's going to be super flavorful. All right, I'm just mixing up those spices with the butter. You want to make sure your spices are thoroughly incorporated with that softened butter. And this Cajun butter is going to change the color of the turkey. It's going to give it this reddish brown color. Okay. All right, so our butter is done. What I also like to do is just save like a quarter of the butter because we're going to melt it and pour it on top of the skin. So just save a little bit of that butter. Okay. Let's get our turkey. Okay. And we're going to take our fingers. We're going to get down and dirty and get underneath the skin and rub that butter underneath the skin. You're going to have to loosen the skin up a little bit. So dig your fingers in there, loosen up that membrane, take your butter and just push it in there. This butter is going to get down in the breast and the crevices, so no part of this turkey is going to be under seasoned. Okay. I like to do the same thing under the thigh. Get into those pockets. And what I like to do is you can kind of rub it on top of the skin as well. Doesn't hurt. Okay. Do the same thing to this side. Make sure you loosen up the skin. Okay. Get under here. I remember my mom used to tell me all the time before I go to school, make sure you get every part of your skin and lotion up. We're going to lotion up this turkey. Even the parts you can't see, like your legs, make sure you put lotion on it. And lotion these legs too. All right, get those wings. I like to tuck my wings under my breast. Okay. Yeah, we're going to use every bit of this butter. Rub it on top. And the reason I like to melt the butter and pour it on top, because once this goes in the oven, this is going to melt off. So to make sure the skin stays crispy, the melted butter will be pouring on top a little later. Didn't it look good already? All right, cool. All right, let's wash our hands. All right, let's go to the oven. All right, we're going to put our turkey in the oven, preheated to 425 for 35 minutes. All right, hit pause and meet me back here in 35 minutes. All right, it's been 35 minutes and we're gonna take our turkey out. Ooh, do you hear that soundtrack? Oh yeah. All right, remember that butter we reserved earlier? We melted it down. Now we're going to take our brush and brush it all on top. Wow, look at that. And make sure you get all over the skin and the cracks, get underneath. Okay. All right, get your wings, get underneath the wing, get under that breast right there. Your thighs. Okay. All right, that looks good to me. All right, that is it. Let's reduce our oven to 350. And we're going to bake this off for an additional 20 minutes. we're gonna let this roast for an additional 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, we're gonna take it out. We're gonna baste it with the pan drippings. We're gonna pop it back in the oven and let it cook for an additional 60 minutes or until the internal temperature reaches 160. Hit pause and meet me back here in about an hour and 20. It's been about an hour and 20 and our turkey is done. Okay, ooh, that smells good. And look at it, beautiful. All right, we're gonna let this rest for about 15 minutes before we carve. Hit pause and meet me back then. It's been 15 minutes. Now it's time to carve the turkey. Ooh, yeah, what I like to do is carve the breast first. We'll get to that. We'll go underneath, go all the way down to the bone. Take your knife and go under so you can get slices. Skin. It's so juicy, it's falling apart. Like to fan it out right there. Skin. Look at that. Do the same thing to this breast. And don't throw that meat away, because when we're done, this bone is going to have a lot of meat on it. All right, fan it out there. Grab a turkey wing. Yeah, there's no cute way to carve a turkey. All right, now listen, I know I'm cool. The wing. Okay. And you gotta make sure you get a thigh on there. I am a dark meat girl. This is what I want. All right, put that on there like that. Of course, you can add the rest of your turkey. I'm just giving you guys the gist of it. Okay. And what I like to do before serving, take a bite, add a little garnish to it. Cut up some lemons, scatter it around like that. Okay. Add some fresh thyme. Just put that in there like that. Okay. Got some fresh oregano because we used oregano in the seasoning. Some parsley. Add a little greenery. Okay. Clean it up a little bit. You got yourself Cajun butter spatchcocked turkey. And because we've worked so hard, why not treat ourselves before our guests get here? Take a little piece off. Ooh, do y'all see how juicy? The juice is just oozing out of this breast. You'll never eat a dry turkey again in your life. It is super moist, super buttery. It's not too spicy at all. I can taste the garlic, the onion, the herbs. I mean, this is just a seasoned turkey. You guys can taste. It's probably some of the best turkey you'll ever eat in your life. Thank me later. But if you really want to wow the people, get some of that leftover butter that was at the bottom of your pan right before serving. Drizzle it on top. Yeah, that's it. That is it. Thanks for joining my class. I hope you had fun because I had a blast with you. Don't forget to hit that bookmark button and save these to your favorites. And check out my other Southern Thanksgiving recipes right here on Food Network Kitchen. See you next time.